The Joe Rogan Experience.
That was kind of how police had total autonomy. They had so much power and authority back then.
Yeah, it was crazy. I remember another incident. This was right before I left. I think I started talking about this, but I didn't finish. It was like they had Tompkins Square Park, and they were trying to. That's when that area was getting gentrified. That was the big word. And there was like kind of a riot. There was all the people protesting the gentrification of the Lower East Side. This was probably like, I don't know, I forget, maybe early 90s, late 80s. And the cops showed up on horseback. And I had just walked out to go to the deli. I didn't even know this was happening. I just walked right into the middle of like, oh, what's going on here? And then the cops just started racing through the crowd, and I just started running. And I saw a friend of mine. He died now, but he was the singer of this punk rock band, Reagan Youth. And I saw this cop just jump on him and start pounding on him so bad. He had really long dreadlocks. The next time I saw him, his head was shaved and it was all stitched up because he just had so much damage to his head. He had been in like a coma or something. Oh. And then it was a big scandal. You could probably find this because the cops all put black tape on their badge numbers so that no one could tell who was who while they did all this shit. Ooh. And it was like on the front cover of the New York Post, a picture of like the badge with the black tape. Oof. That shit was wild back then. See if you can find it.
Well, the Chicago elections and the riots during the 1960s was like a turning point in Hunter S. Thompson's life, because he was there and he watched these cops just beat the fuck out of people. And he said that he saw far worse beatings by the Chicago police than he ever saw for the Hells Angels. Because, his first book was the Hells Angels book. So he was around those guys for a year watching them get into biker brawls and shit. He's like, this fucking paled. It paled.
Crazy. I mean, it's crazy too, but sometimes being a cop must be a crazy job.
Horrific.
Because I can't imagine... I mean, it doesn't justify any of the stuff we're talking about, but I can't imagine how you couldn't go crazy in that job with what you see every day and what you...
Most of them, I think, have PTSD, and they don't. It's not addressed. Most people have disdain for them. Almost everybody they meet's a liar. Because you meet a guy like, I didn't know how fast I was going. Oh, this is my house. Oh, I just can't find my keys. Like, everyone's lying to you, and you're the enemy. You are a professional enemy, and you're wearing an enemy outfit, right? For all these criminals, you're the enemy. It's a terrible way to live. And we need them badly.
Right. It's I don't know. You can't win on that job, I don't think.
No, you can't. And people you don't get paid enough. People don't respect you. They don't appreciate you. They
don't want you around until they want you around.
Yes.
And then you're not there fast enough.
Exactly. And then you suck. Yeah. Yeah, it's and cop movies, that's what's crazy. Is like cop movies people love. People love cop movies, and the cops are the good guys.
Yeah.
It's so strange. But like their interactions with humans in real life, like, boy, if people treated them the way they think about them in the movies, it would be a wonderful time to be a cop.
It's weird, though, because I remember that time period in New York, like, it was so strange. Like, I have a different relationship now when I see cops, but as like a bum kid at 19. Like, I remember walking down the street and a cop would cruise alongside, roll down the window, and they'd start taunting me, saying shit. Like, because
bullies.
And like, cops. They're just like waiting for you to say something back.
Right.
And I was like, wow, this is weird. I was just walking down the street. I wasn't, even jaywalking down the street. Now, whenever a cop comes up to me, I'm like, oh no, what's happening? He'd be like, dude, I saw you in Slayer. It was fucking awesome. I'm like, that's weird.
Yeah, it's got to be super strange. Yeah. I mean, they're more accountable now than ever before. I think that's one of the great things about body cameras and cell phones. That cops are, you just can't rock it that way before. But I don't think they get enough counseling, and I don't think they get enough money, and I don't think it's a stringent enough screening process. I think there's a lot of people that are... They're powerless twats when they're young, and they want, I just wish everybody's going to fucking pay if I could be a cop. And they become a cop for all the wrong reasons. And then they're the ones that give the good cops a bad name. And if you think about the amount of interactions that people have with police, and this is why perspective is so important. There are fucking 320 million people in this country, and cops have millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of interactions with people all the time. but how many of those interactions are positive? The vast
Yeah, right.
majority of them are not police brutality. The vast majority of them are not shooting someone and planting a weapon on them or planting drugs on them.
Of course.
The vast majority of them are cops doing a really hard job and doing their best, but nobody gives a fuck about that. You only care when the cops go bad, you know, and
Yeah.
then, you know, it's just perspective.
Which, you know, nobody has.
No, nobody does. Nobody
That's too
does.
nuanced of a conversation with the world now. Nobody
It
has any
is.
perspective on anything.